Hi, everybody. Welcome to Awaking Moment podcast. It's 2026, and I am excited to be here. Today's episode is really going to focus on what you've been focusing on and some suggestions around how to maybe shift some of this energy. There's a bunch of reasons why you might be feeling overwhelmed or even feeling like, oh my God, I'm behind. And I want to take some of that away from you because it doesn't do you any good in the long run. I'm Dani Palacio. I am your host. This is an exciting start as it's season 3. Yes, it is season 3. And I am so grateful to have a place to share my thoughts, to share wisdom, to support you in finding your wisdom and truth and discovering really what works for you because you are unique. You are not like anyone else, and you have a unique soul signature, meaning your energy is uniquely yours. And it's identifiable, like it's a consistent thing that's happened over and over and over again. So, and no one else can have that signature. So, isn't that exciting to think how unique you are? I am going through some life changes, but I want to start off by saying that my intent is to deliver you a new podcast every week. I am going to intend to give you that Monday or Tuesday within the week, early part of the week. Some weeks may differ because I am selling my house. I do not know where I'm moving yet. How exciting. And I am shifting my work, my focus. I'm always going to be a healer. Watch, I even have my heal t-shirt on today, which means I'm always going to flow with what the divine wants me to focus on. And I love being with people. I absolutely love being with people, and I need to be with them even more. And I don't know what that looks like. I will always offer remote sessions, and I'll be launching a couple quick, what does a remote session look like and how do you best prepare for one? Those will be short videos, and I'm moving my energy to focus more on YouTube. I know Meta is a big machine, and Facebook and Instagram are constantly bombarding me with ads that I don't care about, topics I never asked for, and to try and stay clear and pure, I need to move my energy off of those platforms. I will always share the link to the latest podcast, but it will always be hosted on YouTube and other podcast platforms. So just wanted to give you that update. As we move into 2026, the calendar year shifted. And in that, there's new numerology, numbers that signify new beginnings. And actually, 2026 is a 10. And 10s are amplifiers. They're powerful. So you've got a 10, which turns into a 1 numerology wise. Again, none of that really matters. Everybody is living their life on a journey, part of their soul, part of their divine plan. And so everything can look different. I mean, I've talked about it before on this podcast where sometimes it's winter out, but you're feeling like it's spring because new ideas are coming and you're launching something. Sometimes you're in summer and everything outside is hot, and inside you just want to curl up into the darkness and like take a nap. You have to honor where you are. I'm learning that every single day, and here I am. It's the start of the third week, I don't even know, of January. Anyway, this is going to be coming out. I'm recording on the 18th, so it'll be out later tonight. And you'll probably get it maybe on Monday. And yeah, and so here we are. January's like moving right along. And that's what time does. It moves right along. It doesn't stop. It doesn't wait. It just keeps going. Tick, 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 tick. Which can cause our nervous systems to say, wait, I'm behind. I am not ticking at the same tick, 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 tick. Maybe yours is really slow, or maybe yours is really fast. That's when we need to take a deep breath, come back into our center, and be like, I got to take a moment. And take that moment. I'm serious. Take the moment, however that long that moment is. Sometimes for me, the moment is literally 10 to 30 seconds. Other times the moment is half of a day. And so again, trust yourself. And a lot of people that I know and that are living a fast-paced life with lots and lots and lots to do, maybe are wondering, where is my focus? What am I supposed to be focusing on? So let me give you some ideas, because I got lots of them. And that is, in the Chinese New Year, we are still in the wood snake year. We are at the final days. We've got 1 month left, because on February 17th, we move into a new Chinese year, which is the fire horse. So what does that mean? Because most people don't follow the Chinese calendar, to be honest. We think of the new year as the change of the calendar from 2025 to 2026. That's the new year. Other people see their birthdays as the personal new year, and they honor that year cycle. And some may even look at Halloween, Samhain, as the beginning of a new year, because in the pagan tradition, that's New Year. So New Year is just like having a new day. And a new day can be a new hour, the next minute. So whenever you intend to start something new, that's your new. Everything before that new is the old. Don't focus on the past. Don't focus on the old. Focus on what is now. What is present for you? What are you feeling? What are you wanting? What are you desiring? What are you noticing? I can tell you right now, I have been noticing that I have an incredible group of friends that love me, that support me, that check in on me, that wonder how I'm doing. And I have some friends that are very different from that. And I've been noticing how their differences, the way that they need to live their life, isn't really supportive. And so I need to change my focus. I need to respect myself, my time, my energy. Maybe you're going through something like that too. So focus on your desire. Focus on how it makes you feel and how you can cultivate that feeling more. And focus on what and how you can be present in the moment for that desire. And before you know it, things start to shift and change and move. I know that the secular world out there is talking about New Year's resolutions and time to get healthy, and you better work out, and it's time to really let that fat go and transform your body and your health. I love that. But if you're not into that right now, don't listen. Don't listen. And if you're scrolling on Facebook and on Instagram over and over again, and you're just getting bombarded with all these messages about what you should be doing and what you should be looking at, don't. Just get off the roller coaster ride. It's not worth your presence. It's not worth your mental health. Trust me, you will be loved, you will be seen, you will find your community. You do not need to find it on external experiences. It can help sometimes. It's not always the genuine answer. I talk a lot about trust, and trust is hard. I realized and learned that trust, when an organ, each organ has some emotions related to it, and the spleen is your trust center, for lack of a better word, but it's where trust is cultivated, where trust is held, where energetically the feeling of being, to have trust, to know what trust is, comes from the spleen. And so it's been interesting for me and fascinating for me in the last couple of years to learn more about traditional Chinese medicine and how food and organs and systems all kind of go together. And depending on what you're feeling or what you're wanting or what you're desiring, if you spend time in the body and you start to nourish those particular organs and you start to sit with what is the truth within the body, wow, things shift. And I had a massive shift recently. So I don't talk about this hardly at all, but over the last 2 years, I have been part of a group of women that are learning to love themselves, to listen to their bodies, to honor their own rhythms, to just know that they are enough and that they are loved and that they are perfect and whole just as they are, no matter what their health condition is, no matter what their mental state is. And I've got health stuff, I've got mental wellness issues, and I've learned that slowing it down, being more loving and kind, partnering with my body, and learning to say no more, have better boundaries about what is or isn't working for me, has truly shifted my energy, my awareness. And so I'm going to tell you a short story. I've told the long story to a few friends and it's too long. So here's the short version. I had a second car. I needed to sell it, wanted to sell it. I put it out on Facebook Marketplace. I had all kinds of weird people contact me that felt weird. And I was like, oh my God, just take it down. But no, I listened to my gut and I listened to spirit, and it was like, keep it there. Finally found a buyer, sold the car on the 12th of January. I had been getting ready for 2026, and particularly the horse year coming up in February, the new Chinese New Year in February. So I was trying to really pay attention to the snake, and I could feel that there were these little bits at the very tail end of the snake that were still stuck to me, that weren't trying to molt off, that they were just snapped in. And I was like, ooh, I got to figure out how to wiggle that off. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to shift? And I had asked for a spirit animal. So between Christmas and New Year's, I did a lot of reflection time and I got penguin. And I love that little penguin. Actually, he's not little. He actually showed up as the emperor, the big penguin. You know, the March of the Penguins, that movie. And I have this little penguin with his little arms out, and he's kind of running towards me, this picture. And his message, as I was researching and reading into what does a penguin signify? What is it trying to tell me? And it asked me, how are you going to prepare for a life of mystery and intrigue? And I was like, get ready. Like, how am I going to get ready? And I was like, I don't know. I don't even know how to get ready for a life that's full of mystery and intrigue. So I just was like, okay, I'll just sit with this and it'll come, right? Trust, trust, trust. And so I had signed up for a webinar as part of this group that I'm part of. There's an extension into the Alchemy Learning Center, which two women run and have a podcast and have published many, many books, and beautiful, amazing teachers. Really enjoyed listening to the podcast because it's all about alchemy for me and about the 5 elements and our authentic nature. So there's that little bit. I didn't think much of it. I enjoyed the webinar. They sent an email that Monday on the 12th, and I was getting ready to sell the car, and these people were coming, and I was having all kinds of emotion of fear. They can't come into my house. I'm all by myself. I don't have any friends. Like the whole drama victim burst out of me. And then I regained my composure and tuned in and all of that. Everything went well. They bought the car. I got the cashier's check, and I'm coming in the house with the cashier's check. And this terrifying feeling of like, oh my God, I have this money now, and oh, I'm going to get to pay off my second car, and I'm not going to have a car payment anymore, and I'm going to not have as large of a car insurance, and then all this abundance kind of was in my face. Like, look at all that you can do. Look at all that's going to change from this one act, from this selling the car and receiving this cashier's check. And I sat in my house in fear for a good 15 to 20 minutes going, oh my God, they're going to come back. They don't want the car. They drove it away and they don't want the car, and they're going to take their cashier's check back. And I'm not going to have this money, and all the things I thought I was going to be able to do, I'm not going to be able to do. And can you even hear my tone, my voice, how fast I'm talking? That's how it was for me. Manic, crazy. And I was like, what is the opportunity here? Because it's up for a reason. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. When you're in your moment, what's the opportunity? What can I learn? What can I do? What do I need to release? And I realized that this beautiful experience happened because it unearthed a belief I didn't even know I had. And it was around abundance. Now, I've always been abundant. I have not had a problem with that, except this underlying belief that I didn't know I had until that moment was, yeah, you're abundant, but someone's going to come and take your abundance away. And I hook, line, sinker, totally believe that. And so thank goodness I have tools to help me release these old beliefs, bring in a new belief. And I did the work and I had a massive visceral shift. All of a sudden, this beautiful wave of joy and bliss came within me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I get to have the opportunity to know what it feels like to really own my abundance. And not only that, but I'm going to pay the car off and I'm going to have a change and I'm going to have something new. I can feel it. And so I enjoyed those moments. And then I went to my laptop and I looked at the email that had come in the morning from this group, these new people that I had went to the webinar. And it's like, I looked and I was wondering how long it had been. 6 hours was it, because it tells you the time. One of the very first things in that email was, get ready. And I was like, what? Did they just say get ready? And I haven't read the email again, but in my mind and my heart, I know that I heard it at least 3 times. Get ready. This is how you're gonna get ready. Blah, 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 right? And I'm like, and I could even feel like Penguin over there going, this is it. This is it, Dani. And so it's for a program that they offer, Master Alchemy Apprentice Program. I didn't know the name of that program until after. I signed up for a free consultation. I had a Zoom call with one of the founders of the Alchemy Learning Center, and I knew that I was going to do this at some level, and I wasn't sure. So she said, do you have any questions at the very end? And I said, how much does it cost? And she's like, well, you can pay monthly. And I knew that I was stopping a car payment, which was $537 a month. And the monthly payment for this program, this year-long program, was stuff like that is amazing to me. These are miracles. This is moving trust into deep faith that even though I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm going or where I'm going to live, that the universe, God, the divine is creating the step. Maybe I can't see it. Maybe I can't feel it, but I'm going to lift my foot and I'm going to take that next step. And every step of the way in this very cool story is that everything was provided. So of course she says, well, give it some thought. And I said, oh, it's an absolute yes. I don't need to think about it. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she's like, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. The program started the following day. I had things booked. Anyway, I knew the truth of that. And later that day, I was driving to the store and I was thinking about all that had happened as I'm reflecting to you and telling you the story. And I heard it, literally heard it. No, you're not going to pay monthly. You need to invest and you need to pay for the entire program right here, right now. And I'm like, well, I can do that. And I can. And I did. And I have invested. And all of this to say, something radically shifted inside of me. Whatever fear or doubt I may have had around what is coming, what is next, I no longer have. I have the full faith. Yes, faith, not trust. Faith that this is all part of my divine plan and I am right on track. And I share all of this because so many people get stuck in trust, because in the world, you need to feel safe, and safe, you need to be able to trust. But what if you didn't? What if you jumped right to a spiritual understanding of faith? Faith and devotion to something bigger, more than yourself. I don't care what it is. If it's an idea, if it's scientific data, if it's God, if it's Mother Earth, if it's the tree that you love and you visit every day, if it's your own idea of who you think you are. The faith and the devotion to that moves what seems impossible. And yes, I claim this past week, from January 12th to now. Actually started on the 11th. Lovely 111, right? To now has shifted, has cleared the gray cloud, the fog. And crazy enough, we had days of fog this past week where you couldn't even see, up to the end of the street. So why am I sharing all of this? Because I want to inspire you to let go of your fear and step into faith. And it doesn't have to be religious. It doesn't have to be a certain doctrine of what faith should be. What does faith look like? Let all that go and just feel it. Feel it and move in that faith. It's not trust, you guys. It really isn't. And so I wanted to share that. Thank you for letting me have a platform to share my new life. So I am now in the program and I am learning alchemy in a new way. And it just started, and I can already feel how this is part of my divine plan, how this is part of who I am becoming. And I am grateful. And it's a 3-year program. And so the way I'm talking about it now is I'm back in school, people. Yeah, because I am. It's like a good 10 to 12 hours a week of attending things and doing your own self-study and being prepared and practicing what you're learning and applying it to yourself. So it's probably more than 10 hours for me. It's probably closer to 15, which is like a part-time job. So today I had my last in-person session with a client and it was beautiful. It was another sign that new gifts are flowing into me. And I'm excited to cultivate that and share them with you. Again, I will always be available for remote sessions. 2026, the year of the fire horse that's coming in February, and all that is changing within me. I want you to know that I am available. I say that a lot, but nobody really takes me up on it. And I am learning my boundaries. And so trust that I am, and trust that if you need a session, if you need insight, if you need inspiration, you've always got the podcast and you always have me. I'm right here. You have my phone number. You have my email. You have my access to my social media accounts. I read, check all of that. I respond. So don't be afraid. Whatever weird thought you have about, oh, Dani's so busy or Dani's not available. Yes, I am. That's I call BS on that other stuff because I am. And I would make myself available if I wasn't. I'd figure it out. And so I want to wish you a beautiful end to January and continue to slough off, molt that skin of the snake so that you can be shiny, free, and take some vulnerability. So do it. You'll live through it. Blessings. I love you. Thank you for being here.